Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another day in which I just recovered from a coughing fit. Ugh. It has been one heck of a day. But first, little Charvy. Charvy? This isn't Charvy. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to fool everybody. Little Charvy is in bad shape, and I'll talk about that in a moment. This is Dr. Snurf / Cookie, who wants to go back to bed. I woke him up, took him out of his nice warm nest. So I'm going to put him back into his nest so he can go to sleep, because he is a sweetheart. Here we go, little guy. Thank you very, very much. There, I'll even put the lid back over you so it gets a little darker and you come back to sleep. Very good. My sincere apologies. Now I'm having a coughing fit. Ugh. Woof! Part of it is fully my fault. I had a pretty solid THC oil dab just before I started recording, and apparently did not give myself time enough to recover. So I'm still hacking and coughing and lungs not feeling all so hot. What happens when you take an THC oil dab is, of course, they take the cannabis plant and they just squash it down, and then they compress it and they get all the juice out of it. And then they take that juice and they concentrate it until it's just a highly concentrated amount. It might take many, many plants to make 1 ounce of THC oil. But while a normal plant might be anywhere from 7 to 30% THC, the resultant THC oil can be anywhere from 40 to 100% THC. And so an oil dab, because of its concentrated form, really can get you a lot of pain control, or if you don't have a high tolerance, get you really, really stoned. I have a massive tolerance. So oil dabs do affect me more than just smoking cannabis, the bud, which is good, but it also does not affect me as much as other people, which is good. But if I take 4 oil dabs in a row, by the time I finish my 4th, I will have difficulty speaking English. So I don't feel stoned per se, but I am affected. My voice is still affected right now because I still want to cough. Continuing the story, what you have to do to use the THC oil for a dab is there are many different ways excuse me, many different ways of taking THC in all of its different ways. I mean, when you're smoking bud, there's pipes and hookahs, and there's water pipes, bongs, which is a water pipe. I was just giving you the extra name for it. You know, where you light the bud here, and when you draw, it pulls the smoke through the water, which cools it down, so that when you inhale it, you don't cough as hard, or at all. Now, what an oil dab thing does is, I can't show you mine, but it's got a barrel with water in it, and then it's got a stem that goes down into the water, and then you have a mouthpiece here where you inhale, and then the force, of course, brings you light up either a nail, which is quartz or metal or whatever, or a bucket, which is a different way of doing it, but it works roughly the same thing. You take a torch, you heat it up until it's, well, a couple hundred degrees, like it's glowing red. And then you take a little stick, having scraped a blob of the THC oil onto that, and then when the thing is really, really hot, you just start inhaling through the mouthpiece so the air is already going through. Put the oil dab onto the really, really hot bucket or nail, and then the vapor goes right into the tube, down into the water where it hopefully cools down a little tiny bit, and then into your lungs. And yes, when you take an oil dab, you will cough. Oh my gosh, you will cough. You have, even if it runs through the water, you have extremely hot oil vapor coating the insides of your lungs. It is not a pleasant sensation. You cough, and you cough hard. Some people cough so hard they vomit. Thumbs up for that. Now, I watched this one guy who had a channel. I don't know if he still does. YouTube is not pleasant to cannabis anymore. But to celebrate the amount of subscribers he had, it was like for every 10,000 subscribers he had, I think he had 250,000, he took a hit off of an oil rig. He took 25 hits in a row. And they didn't show the whole thing, but it took him a good half hour of coughing, hacking, and puking afterward before his body was able to recover from that. Oh my God. Now, I've hacked so hard that I've sometimes felt like I was going to puke. And I've hacked hard and then had to and then spit out huge wads of yuck. I gotta move my pop shield again. My apologies. It keeps falling. It's not a good neck that holds it in place. I'd show it to you, but then I'd have to readjust my camera. But it's just a circular thing on a kind of a long gooseneck, but the gooseneck is not the best, and so it slides and falls. Thumbs up. But because you're coating the inside of your lungs with hot oil, and it can be very unpleasant. Now, it doesn't burn your lungs. You know, you're not frying the insides of your lungs, even though it is hot oil vapor. Because there are people, and I have seen this. That guy, after he took all his hits, took him a half hour and he almost died. You could watch him doing it. I watched this other guy, because you can train your body to do it well. He had an oil rig going, because what he did was he took all of his what's called his reclaim. What you gather up out of your rig is like the tar of the oil, but that's not really tar. You can actually re-smoke it or eat it or use it topically, and it's activated and it's good. Because what this fellow did was he was taking his used reclaim. Well, of course it was used, it was reclaim. He was taking his reclaim, packaging it, and sending it to these other people where they would then eat the reclaim in capsules, and it stopped their epilepsy. They were at the type of epilepsy that they had seizures daily where they couldn't do anything. But taking these capsules stops the seizures. So he's getting high, and he's helping another person live. But it was amazing because he had an oil rig going that had constant heat applied to it. Somebody had a string. Normally you take an oil dab that's like this much, and that can be pretty heavy. It was a string. Must have been 2 or 3 ounces of oil. And he was just sitting there going, and then out of his nose as this whole string went down, and he was just and processing this and breathing it, and I was like, oh my God. Because he smoked enough in that one shot that it would have kept another 4 people going for 2 weeks. I don't know how the guy's lungs could process it, and I don't know how he could do it without dying, but he did. So, amazing there. But I just wanted to talk about the kind of stuff, because I don't smoke cannabis to get high or stoned. My tolerance for everything is sky high. Because of my fibromyalgia, I've been on massive amounts of medications. I've mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again, but I was on 28 different prescription medications for pain and pain control before I went on to medical cannabis. Some of these meds were heavy duty, harsh stuff, and I was still losing my mobility. I was on 45 milligrams of methadone. That's the equivalent of 100 milligrams of morphine daily. My tolerance for everything is sky high. So when I take oil dabs, when I smoke cannabis, I don't get stoned or high. I feel pleasant, of course, but past that, I just feel pain control. And thank goodness for that. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, yes. I remember from my youth, and part of that I have to remember is because I used to party pretty hard when young, and I drink at the same time. So my memories of what it was like to be stoned when I was younger are largely also really colored by how drunk I was at the same time. Only I don't know how to separate that part of it from my memories. All I have is, oh yeah, when I was stoned I felt this way, forgetting that of course half of that was just being so drunk on top of being there. Now, when I was a child, a real young child, and smoking cannabis in like 7th and 8th grade, wasn't drinking then. Well, I mean I was, but I wasn't drinking with... It's a long story with the physical and sexual abuse, but I wasn't drinking with people. That was something that I did on my own at night when my parents were asleep and I couldn't sleep. So there was no cannabis involved with that. There was no drinking for pleasure. That didn't start until much, much later on top of everything else. So cannabis is fun. It's exciting, but my tolerance, I mean, once I started taking medical cannabis, I cut 27 out of my 28 pain meds. I am still on a couple, sort of on and off, because I've still got to deal with a whole bunch of federal debt. But yeah, it's a whole big VA thing. I owe like $2,000, and that's why they're going to be taking money out of my paycheck, quote unquote, if I can't get a hold of people. But try and remember now what I was going on. Oh yes, I cut out everything except for the occasional diuretic because my lymph system in my lower legs was destroyed by cellulitis. I have iron for my restless leg, potassium because you need to take potassium if you take a diuretic. I have ropinirole because I have restless leg, and aside from the methadone, that's it. The only thing for pain I take anymore is methadone and cannabis. So that's a good thing. I was able to cut out all that just with cannabis. But yeah, while I get some of the bad effects, difficulties being able to remember things on top of all my other issues, but aside from that, I don't really feel a whole lot. But really quick, of course, once I got up this morning, I quickly took an oil dab so that I could install my video card. First thing I did, big old oil dab, THC'd up, and I installed my video card. I started work at 6:15 and it was almost 8 a.m. by the time I finished. Everything was all just working up wrong. So the camera, I had to reinstall my camera, and the mic wasn't working. But now everything is working. My sincere thanks to Potato-tron. He sent me, he or she, I think it's a he, Tom, I'm not going to say last names, but yeah, it must be a he, huh? But sent me a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. It works really, really good. Thank you so very much. I have met some of the best and most awesome people in the world through my channel. Thank you all. It is greatly appreciated. And honestly, it is. I mean, my computer would have been dead multi times over if not for many, many, many wonderful and kind contributors. There was Straxion, whom I'm not sure even watches anymore, and Potato-tron, and so many people. Thank you all. Oh, looking at the time here, if you like watching people play video games, especially older people play video games. I have a channel, game channel. You're supposed to get a YouTube representative when you get 100,000 subscribers. I got 160,000. I still don't have a contact at YouTube. So should my game channel be demonetized still? Should it be underneath the umbrella of this monetized one? I don't know. I don't have a YouTube rep. Yay. But if you could check out the channel, it'd be awesome. Hopefully I got the link right up there. Hopefully, no guarantee. I've also opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people. It is arranged because with my fibro and of course with the THC oil dabs, I forget stuff all the time. So I do my best. And even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand, that's why it's arranged at 20 to 25. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read the comments afterward. Going to thumbs up each one I read, answer as many as I can. But for right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Good comment, bad comment, indifferent comment. Fact is, you left me a comment. Thank you very much. Calling up my Chrome here. We have very good name. Thank you very, very much. E-Plarp. Thank you very much. Very cool. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And Tundra Keeper. Always good to see you in the comments. Colin Reisenauer, I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very much. Kathy Kitscat, greatly appreciated. And we have Wallace Longbottoms. How about that? Catnip Griffin, greatly appreciated. Pandora NYC1, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. And Zombie Wolf, greatly appreciated. Wild Mods GTA, thumbs up and thank you. T. Aubrey, thank you. Samantha Fox, thank you very, very much. And JJ Swaggins. We have Top T0P actually, but I had to pronounce it. So Cross Genes Yin Yang is Buddha's anthem. Thumbs up and thank you. And we have Braden Moncrief. The screen moved as I was reading the name. Thank you very, very much. And Connor Clapbots, greatly appreciated. Spike My Mic. Thank you very, very much. Chris Dorn, greatly appreciated. Desert, thank you very, very much. Each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with actual people. Thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. Excuse me. Oh, shucks, I wanted to do this too. Another Be Happy pop-up card. So at the very end, just before I do my other spiel. Oh, I did it backwards. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Yes, indeed. I agree with that one 100%. Very good. I'm keeping that one, definitely. Well, hey, if you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes, deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definitely a thumbs up. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you don't want to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. Yes, again, I talk with my hands. I must have Italian somewhere in my ancestry. I must. But I don't know. And as also stated, my grandparents emigrated to the United States through Canada from Scotland. Past that, I don't know where, but at least I know they came from Scotland, which is mighty close also to the Green Hills of Ireland, which is a good thing. Well, hopefully I'm going to have a game video. Hopefully I'm going to have a reaction video. I know I haven't had one for a couple days, but hopefully. And hopefully a game video for my game channel. I want to live stream again. I keep falling asleep. I am so sorry. But you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. I promise. And that, my friend, is a very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. I might as well make this last 20 minutes on the dot then, huh? Take care.